At 7 years young, my first memory is of my dad yelling and screaming. When my parents divorced and my abusive father left, my mom became a single mother of 3 boys, and we lived on welfare and low-income housing. My father continued to threaten me and my siblings. This was when my trouble with the law began. I had consistent nightmares, anxiety, and hypervigilance. I started drinking and doing drugs. I left the house when I was 17 because I was being abused and went out into the world with zero coping skills. I shoplifted, vandalized, and committed burglary. I was kicked out of school, but I got my GED. I got involved in gang violence, where I was shot at and witnessed a murder. My best friend took his own life, and I was a pallbearer at his funeral. No matter how hard I tried, nowhere was safe from violence and trauma. My drinking and substance use got much, much worse. Our family dysfunction was severe, and in 1996, my brother took his life. My first wife battled cancer for 5 years, and I quit both of my jobs to become her full-time caregiver. In 2010, 3 days before Christmas, she died in my arms. I had been drinking my whole life up to that point to numb the pain. After she passed, I was in my darkest spot, and I attempted to take my own life. The next morning, a friend came to check on me, and I don't know how I woke up, but that was my turning point. After everything happened, I wasn't sleeping well. I was hypervigilant, I wouldn't go anywhere, and I had massive bouts of depression. Panic attacks came on quick. I met my current wife, and she encouraged me to talk to someone. My therapist suggested I go to a PTSD class. Suddenly, everything made so much sense. I was diagnosed with traumatic stress syndrome, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, major depressive disorder, and generalized anxiety disorder. I learned about adverse childhood experiences, recognized my symptoms as symptoms, found a medication that worked well for me, and went through EMDR therapy, which ended my nightmares. I still have symptoms, but they come and go, and they're not as bad as they used to be. I have been sober for 10 years now, and I wouldn't live any other way. I have no desire to numb myself. I know that men don't talk about their mental health, and I am committed to changing that. I have to talk about it so I can finally heal. I'm still here fighting, managing, and thriving.